They tell us that to exist, we must constantly express. That to be relevant, we must fill every waking moment with sound. This is the modern plague. Every word you utter is a piece of currency spent. It is energy expended, attention divided, and a risk taken upon your reputation. A rich man spends his coin wisely. A desperate man throws it carelessly into the wind. Which are you? This is the inner citadel. Today, we look at the practice that separates the thoughtful from the frantic, the profound Stoic power of restraint. We explore the imperative to speak less, think more. The philosopher Seneca saw the dangers of the rushed mind most clearly. He observed that the man who talks too much is a man who has not first consulted himself. His speech is not a clear river, but a muddy, uncontrolled torrent. Seneca warned us that eloquence is worthless if the mind is idle. The words of a verbose man are heavy without weight. They fill the air but contain no substance. They are a display of vanity, not a sign of virtue. Stoicism demands action based on reason, and reason demands time. Nothing is honorable unless it is deliberate. Therefore, you must create a protective barrier between the thoughtless impulse and the spoken word. The lessons of Epictetus, the former slave, provide the most practical guide. He asks us to look at nature's own design. Why 2 ears and only 1 mouth? It is the most powerful instructional tool given to us. Your primary duty is not to broadcast your presence, but to assimilate the world's wisdom. We pay a humility tax when we speak, because we expose our ignorance. But when we listen, we are guaranteed to profit. The pause, that silent space just before you respond, is where true control is exercised. It allows you to transform a mere reaction into a chosen response. Practice the pause, and you begin to practice Stoicism itself. To speak less is to create mental capacity for a more difficult practice. Premeditatio Malorum, the premeditation of evils. In silence, you rehearse not only what you will say, but what you will not say. You mentally prepare for the insult that must be met with silence, the baseless criticism that must be absorbed without deflection, and the rash judgment that must remain unuttered. Silence becomes your shield. It is the armor that deflects the petty squabbles of the world. By thinking more about the difficult scenarios, you ensure your eventual words, when they are needed, are precise, necessary, and lethal to irrationality. Imagine the burden of command. Every day the emperor's word decided life, death, war, or peace. Yet his great legacy is the silence contained within the pages of his meditations. He was not seeking advice, but administering it to himself. He was not giving a speech to the Senate, he was having a conversation with his own character. If the emperor of the world found it necessary to retreat to his own mind, how much more essential is that retreat for us? When the impulse to speak strikes, measure it against the weight of the universe. Ask yourself, is this word worthy of my character? And is it worth the peace that its utterance will shatter? To ensure every word that leaves your mouth is aligned with virtue, you must employ the final filter, the test of the 3 gates. The first gate, is it true? Sift the fact from the fiction, the assumption from the certainty. Only words of truth are worthy of your Stoic seal. The second gate, is it kind? Does this statement offer comfort, correction, or compassion? If it is simply gossip or malice, it is a poison. Do not drink the poison and do not dispense it. The third gate, is it necessary? The final, most difficult test. Even if it is true and kind, will the world or your soul be diminished if you remain silent? If the answer is no, then keep your silence. The words that pass all 3 gates are rare, but they are potent. They carry the force of character and the certainty of wisdom. Be the one who speaks with purpose, not impulse. The true victory of the Stoic is the conquest of his own internal chaos. And the first, most rewarding battle is the mastery of your own tongue. Silence is not retreat, it is preparation. It is the place where you cultivate the unbreakable virtue that the world desperately needs. If you are ready to wield this profound, silent power and build an unbreakable foundation of character, then join us. Subscribe to the Inner Citadel now. Take a moment. Apply the 3 gates to your thoughts right now. Then, tell us how this practice has changed your dialogue. The most meaningful conversations begin when the impulse to speak finally ends.